Get notifications and stay updated every time I post a challenge podcast by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all and hope you enjoy. What's going on, everybody? I got a special guest joining me today. She's Mattie from the challenge. Thanks for joining me today, Mattie.
Hey everybody, what's up?
How have you been?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. I've been focusing on training, trying to get a side hustle, and enjoying some family time.
Were you able to catch the final of the challenge this week?
Okay, I'll be honest. I don't like to watch it because I have complete FOMO, and I kind of know everything that goes on. So my mom calls me and kind of gives me the rundown. So I won't lie and say I tuned in.
I respect it. At least you're honest.
Well, when you're done with the challenge, especially after filming and with this bunker, you're kind of done with
it. For sure, yeah. But yeah, I want to jump right into this thing. We'll talk about your experiences this season, maybe some of the Floribama stuff. But I want to take it back a little bit and talk to you about the War of the Worlds final, since we obviously just saw this final this week, and a lot of people were, talking about the difficulty there. But in my eyes, and I think a lot of people would agree with me, it was nowhere near as difficult as, what you and the people on War of the Worlds, went through. Could you talk to me a little bit about maybe how hard that final really was, having been there?
Well, I'll say this. Any of those finals that TJ is going to give you is going to be difficult. Number one, you're there filming for quite some time, and you're tired, you've had enough of everybody. I go there in better shape than when I'm just there filming. But my final, I would say that killed me. I never have been a runner. I don't like to run unless you're chasing me. I'm more of like a quick sprint, to say the least. And then that one, it was hot. We were in the desert, and it brings you down, and you have to mentally be prepared. And I'll say this, I am glad that I was in the heat and not the cold, because I'm from South Louisiana. I do not do cold. I don't like cold. It was a whole nother level there. So for them to be in the snow was one thing, but we also had Turbo, Theo, all these guys with us. So I kind of just would watch them and do what they did. But I'm starting to run a little bit more to try to be able to run, get my endurance up.
Yeah, that was crazy. What was that, like 27 miles or something like that? I could be wrong, at least, right?
Yeah, so we had to run 3 and then bike 3. Now, the run 3 was all in the sand, and the biking was up a mountain and then you rode down. It was intense. I couldn't even pedal the bike. I had to walk the bike up because you were still in some type of sand. So you were like, peel out. I'm like, shit on this. I'm walking this thing up.
Yeah. So now you feel like, you know, maybe the snow you'd be worse off in, how they just did on this season?
I mean, I will, any challenge, any final, I will give you 100%. Regardless of the weather, I feel like I'm someone who can adapt and adjust. Of course, the snow would be more difficult to me to adapt in. I'll probably complain the whole freaking time. But yeah, I think that would have been more difficult for me.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you had a strong rookie season. You beasted it up till the final, and then the next season was War of the Worlds 2. I think a lot of people were disappointed to not see it. Was that like more of your thing, timing, or?
Well, it's always hard for me not to go. I get complete FOMO. I'm like, I don't want them going without me because I want to see the who's with who, how it all works. Because I started watching it, and like I said, I get FOMO. So I'm like, I can't do this because I'm like, they did what? This one went in, so I get a little crazy. But I also then filmed Floribama Shore, so the timing wasn't right. I got the call from Gus to go visit them, so that's what I decided to do.
Mm. Yeah, that was actually leading into my next thing. I was going to ask how the whole Floribama thing came about. I figured or heard like Gus played a part in it. Was this solely Gus that recruited you, or did the production team have any part in that?
Well, Gus gives me a call and he's like, hey, you want to come visit us for a little while? And I was hosting Pride Festival at St. Pete, where I worked for Party Down South, which was my first television show. So I had already had the hookup. So they came and met up with me, and it just kind of went from there.
Mm. So what about your experience with that? Because your original show was Party Down South, and this was sort of also like a party show. Like, what were like the similarities and differences, and did you enjoy your experience there?
Okay, so my first show, I was young. I started when I was 23 years old, had no clue, never left bottom of Louisiana, and now I'm moving with 8 people never met before in my life. So that one was life changing for me. And then coming into Floribama Shore, I'm the oldest. So like I was the vet of that show. It was a little difficult. I did, have a little fear going in because they've already been together for 3 seasons. Well, 2 seasons going on three. So I was like, will they accept me and, let me hang with them? Or is it going to be kind of like the mean girls? But they welcomed me in with open arms. I think knowing Gus helped me out a lot. So I just kind of partied with him. I kind of like tried to be the middleman, the mediator, and just have a good time. I mean, I'm always
Yeah.
down for the party.
Well, yeah. That's always good way to go, right?
Yeah.
So now, what about your thoughts coming into Total Madness? Because obviously taking a season off, you're coming back, and what was like your thoughts coming into the season, like before knowing about the whole bunker and Red Skull thing? Like, what was your thoughts and how you were gonna like maybe approach the game?
Well, so first off, I filmed Floribama Shore, had a month off, and then filmed that show. So I went from partying to training. So it's like you got to get your mind ready to go in that game because you got to be mentally strong because you will get thrown every obstacle that you can think of. You will probably be dealt with. Going in, you never know where we're gonna stay. So I mean, I kind of figured it was the cold because they're like pack bars, pack this. So I was like, oh God, why not put me on a beach somewhere? But I mean, I always go in open minded. You don't know who's on the cast yet. So I can't really say my strategy because I have no clue who's there, who's going to work with me, or what the theme's going to be. If I'm going to be with a partner or is it an individual game? So I always get anxious going in. I'm like, oh my God, just let's do it. $1 million, $1 million, $1 million.
I'm the same way, just with like any athletic event or anything. I just get so anxious beforehand. I just want to like do it, just get it over with. You know what I mean? Like the anticipation, I feel like for
That's
anything,
it.
just like the more and more you wait for it, it just like it builds up. You know?
Oh yeah, like I always say that I'll be anxious, and as soon as TJ blows that horn, game on. It's like, let's go. You ready to get it? You ready to get in there, get it done, and then it's like over in a second. But I mean, I like to do things that scares me. If something scares me, I'm like, I'll be shaken, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. So now, what about the Johnny West thing? Because on your first season, West kind of got the numbers and rallied Johnny out, and they were at each other a little bit. But then this season coming in, they for in the beginning was like kind of like a secretive alliance, but then it like became apparent that they were working together. What is your thoughts on them finally coming together and making a alliance?
I mean, I like that they teamed up. I mean, the vets, because now you have just a few vets and all new rookies. So like, I feel the vets probably should team up. I mean, I'm gonna probably team up with the rookies for the most
Yeah.
part, but they are some sneaky little sons of gun. Like at first, you didn't see this going on, but I will say this: if Johnny or Wes got in the tribunal and they didn't vote for each other, you knew something was up because that would be the first name he would even want to throw out. So
Right.
you kind of thought it was going on, but then you would see them talking. You'd walk around the corner and it's Johnny and Wes, and you're like, "Come on, we see y'all. We know what's going on."
Yeah, 'cause the first episode you see them like hugging or whatever, like in the corner, and then I think it was like one of the first votes. I think it might have been the second guys' day. I think Wes, it was like Johnny was actually like on the chopping block, and then Wes was kind of like the swing vote that ended up saving him or something like that. And that's basically what kind of.
Well, it's kind of like throw me a bone, throw you a bone, but that's when I think the cast figured out that they were going to partner up this challenge.
Mm,
Well, like you see them hugging, you see them being nice. Like, come on, we're not that stupid. Just because I don't say nothing, don't mean I don't see nothing.
yeah, but what about coming into the bunker? Obviously it's an adjustment from what the challenge pretty much is. Usually you're living in like a mansion with like a hot tub and everything. What was going through your mind? You get to the bunker and then you see like this is the game and what was your thoughts?
What did I just sign up for? I was like, you are kidding me. It had just an old smell. It was dark, no sunshine. It was like you could just tell it was like gloomy. It was gray. Even where we were, it was never sunshine. It was cold, rainy. It was just a gray atmosphere. And I'm more like flowers and sunshine and waves. That's my mentality. So coming in, I was like, this is just gonna, I knew I was gonna just freak out soon. But I'd rather freak out in the beginning and then get strong towards the end.
Yeah, didn't I heard that the bathroom broke on like one of the first nights, right? Am I or correct me if I'm wrong? Or like the
Oh,
toilet broke.
it
All
was
right?
disgusting. It was disgusting. You had to make it work. I think a lot of Total Madness was mental because you would just crack, and we call it cabin fever. Someone could be talking in the corner. You're like, oh, are they talking about me? Are they going to throw me in? It just, it just gets a lot more difficult. And you didn't have a place to like sit outside, soak up some sun, do anything like that. But the gym was incredible. We had the turf. So the bunker, not so much, but you would go take it out and try to work out in the gym.
Yeah. I was about to say because I wanted to ask, from your point, because a few people pointed this out, watching it from home about, we see on screen people, saying like how miserable it is, but then when you look inside the, gym kitchen area, maybe it's not like so bad. Was it, did maybe the editing like make it, bad as it was, or like
Sorry,
actually
wait,
you living there, was it as,
you kind of broke up on that last question.
oh, yeah, basically what I was asking was it actually as bad as, it seemed?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I didn't like it. Other people, I mean, they didn't care, they adapted well, but like it was tough for me. I would say that was, with all the TV shows that I've done, that was the hardest place for me to live.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm grateful. I'm not saying I'm not grateful for the gym or I'm not grateful to live in or have shelter. Like, I don't want you to feel like I'm being a little bougie girl, but it wasn't my ideal spot to say the least.
Definitely. Now, what about the twist, the Red Skull twist? They say TJ tells you guys, I think it was like the first elimination, that you gotta get your skull to, you can't go to a final without seeing an elimination. What was your thoughts on like how the twist, played out, and like your actual thoughts on it in general?
That I needed to come up with another strategy because my first season, you were voted in. So now you have to throw yourself in. So it's almost like season one, I say fear, but you create this like, oh, don't throw me in, don't throw me in. Now I have to go in to get to the final. So it's just getting that courage to say, you know what, I'm going in, I'm going to get it, and knowing when it's your time. I thought it was a good twist because I feel like sometimes a lot of people skate by. I feel like, some of us work harder than others and they end up there and other ones don't. But that's also politicking. You got to be fairly well rounded. But I thought it was a good concept. I like the plot twist of it. I think it was a good change for the show.
Did you want to wait it out a little bit before you went in, or was it just kind of the flow and how it happened?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait it out. I'll be honest with you. If there's always a 50-50 chance, and you don't know what's gonna be on that, for this example, the purgatory. You have no clue what you're walking up to. If I knew it would be a hall brawl, yeah, I'm going in, or something with strength or endurance. But you can go there and it could be something where you're hanging or you have no clue. So I like to wait it out, and then, because for me, when the pressure's on, I'm going to just go harder.
Mm.
And I'm
Yeah,
not going to wait first. I'm not going too early. No way. No way.
yeah. But what about the edit of you this season? Because I know a lot of people, at least from what I saw on Twitter, were like wanted to see more of you, and it felt like maybe we didn't really see as much of you as we saw from your first season. Do you feel like we were seeing the correct portrayal of you, or do you feel like there was more that we didn't get to see of you this season?
Well, I think you saw more of me in the first season because I was partnered with Kyle, and Kara and Polly were there. So we had a lot of turmoil. Whereas on this season, it was an individual game, and I only had one confrontation, and that was the night with Ashley. Other than that, I kind of just like took a step back and just tried to really focus, or just stay, let other people have the drama. I was like, I just got back from the Floribama, that's all drama, so I'm gonna let this one just kind of somebody else take the mic, or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, there's a lot of us in that house. You had a lot of vets, so it's always hard because, I mean, unless I'm fighting somebody or hooking up with somebody, you're not kind of in their show,
Right. And you got a lot
to
of
be honest.
a lot of combustible elements in that house that draw a lot of the attention for a number of different reasons. And I feel like maybe your approach this season was more of a middle ground.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to observe again, like when we found out this was individual game. As a rookie, I also watch how they play. I like to see, how they prepare for the challenges, or how they do their strategy for eliminations, like who's doing the politic and who is running this circle. I kind of like was more reserved and watched that. But yeah, I kind of stayed out the drama this one. I wasn't about it as much.
Right.
So
But I want to get into the Ashley and Nany situation. Like, how
oh
did I
God.
saw how it played out on TV with started with Bear, and it seemed like you were kind of standing up for what you felt was more right. But like, because right before then, you and Ashley were talking outside, correct? About making like
That
a
lasted 5 minutes.
yeah.
That deal
So
lasted 5 minutes, by the way.
yeah. So I want to talk about maybe how that started and where Nani fit into this, and maybe where you stand with them both now.
Okay, well, with Ashley, Ashley was my bunkmate. So her and I were in the same room. So sometimes your room's your alone time. You're like everybody's out there talking. So I'm gonna go sit down. And I like to journal. So I would journal how I was feeling, or just kind of like a little meditation. So Ashley was in there a lot. So her and I connected. We talked about a lot of stuff, like the challenge, but even outside of the challenge, kind of opening up, getting to know each other. So that happened. And then the evening with Bear, we had all been drinking all night. I see Bear walk in with the fire extinguisher, and I said, I like fussed him. I'm like, who the hell gave you that? We got to take this from him because he's going to act a clown. Next thing we know, he looks like Al Pacino shooting up, and then the whole thing just went white and you can't see. Well, then Ashley comes back, and then, so when she spit in his face, I just was like, he can't do nothing on that. And where I'm from, you just soon slap me. I'm sorry, that's bad. Or like mess up my car. And I know I should have stayed out of it. Like it wasn't my fight to get involved, especially during a girls' elimination week. Like that was such a stupid move. But I did it. And then when we were in the kitchen area, she said something and I had a quick comment and then I kind of started it. Cause she was
Mm.
like, it's all in my mouth. And I was like, oh, you've had worse than that, I'm sure. That wasn't nice, but it just came out. It just, and boom, it escalated from there.
Yeah, and how did Nani fit into this whole equation? Because it didn't really seem like she had much, involvement in what was going on.
Well, so during this time, you had like Anissa, Nani, Ashley, and Kayla and Jenna all like in a corner, like, because they're the vets, so they all stick together. And you just saw them teaming up, and then I'm like, yeah, it's these fives here we got to worry about. We all worried about this on girls' night. So, of course, I'm going to pop off a little bit. I'm going to raise my voice. I'm not a rookie. If I feel the need, I'm not going to shut up. That's just not in my nature. But yeah, I'm not sure why she all of a sudden came.
Mm.
Nothing was really vocal towards Nani, but I think something was said, and I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm not afraid of you. We're not afraid of each other. But I feel with these vets too, they'll try to get in your face to get you out the game. Like
Mm-hmm.
they do what it takes. They're trying to entice me. And 3 years ago, I might have slapped you, but I'm not that girl anymore. You ain't taking my money now. I'm here for the money. That's it.
So where do you stand with them both now?
Well, I've spoken to Ashley. I've also spoken with Nani. I like to keep the game. Once the game ends, it ends. We never know. I could be partnered with one of these guys, and it's not real life while we're there. I mean, of course, it's real life, but it's also a game. So I try to like separate the two, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I talk to them, but not enough they're my best friends or they're acquaintances. I mean, they work with me, so.
Right. But since we're on the topic of, altercations, it was brought to my attention by like fans, I believe. They said that there was like an unaired you and Big T altercation that, I guess didn't touch surface. Is there any, truth to this or light you could shed on it or?
Okay, so Big T got hammered. I don't think I was even drinking that night. Well, Bananas and D is all like enticing her, calling her a savage. Because I think she was in the tribunal. So Wes and Johnny were feeding this girl, fueling her. Well, she was coming to like tell me off or something. Well, when she jumped off the bunk, she slit her toe. And I'm laying in my bunk just like, girl, what are you even freaking doing? I'm
Mm.
not going to argue with her, but it wasn't as big, I think, as people make. I'm not to me because I didn't do anything. I walked out the room. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Wow.
So
So that's why she was
she
yeah,
hurt
because
herself trying to come to me. I'm like, girl.
yeah, because I was watching it and like nothing didn't really add up to me, and it felt like you know, like it felt like something was left out. So that's definitely it fills in a little bit of the blanks. I was
Well,
just
there wasn't really much to fill in. Like I wasn't responding to that situation. I was just watching it because it was entertainment at the time, and then she got hurt, so then it was chaos.
mm,
I was just in my little bunk bed. I'm like trying to prepare for the purgatory.
why do you think that she maybe targeted you in the sense of her little power trip?
I don't know if someone encouraged that or someone said something to her. But I mean, if you want to come after me, just get ready. That's all I could say. I'm not gonna like sit. But with this one, I did because she was kind of hammered, and I was like, I'm not. Come on, Big T. I'm a little
Mm,
bit.
right. So now I want to talk about your elimination. So it was
Okay.
the buried, what was it? It was called like a buried alive elimination, something like that, or like, oh no, tunnel vision, I think. Or I could have the
Tunnel
names
vision.
vision. Okay, right. But
My heart
yeah, I
just
don't know.
started racing thinking about it.
Yeah, did you have like a what was it, like a phobia or something like that of
Not of sand. I just get pretty claustrophobic. Okay, so I'm always in an open area. Like even going to dinner, if we go eat out, I'm not going to sit in the middle table in the middle of everybody. I'll be more in the corner towards the back. And it's nothing like completely crazy, but I still have it. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be right here. I feel uncomfortable. And when I looked at that and I saw that it had a top on it, and I just was like, oh my God, all my confidence, all my pump was just like, eh. I
so
mean,
how
because my size to D size, that's a big difference.
yeah, so how hard was it actually doing the thing like and being able to breathe in there?
Well, it was difficult. So my strategy was I sat in there and you wanted to take all the sand and start to move it to one side so you can create an opening. Well, I would throw the sand and it would go in your eyes or it would go, sorry, I had
All right,
something
it's
came up. Okay. So I would throw the sand and then it would go in my mouth, or then I had to stop because it got in my eyes. So I'm having to wipe my eyes. And then I'm long. So I would have to go and pull back 6 feet because if not,
mm,
you're packing yourself to the side. So then you wouldn't be able to have room in the front if you needed to pull it over. So I would have to go through, come back, and then my hips were a little wide. So I had to dig a little extra. It was a lot. It was pretty difficult to say the least. And then you're in a box, you have this helmet on. So I would try to move and my helmet would get caught and you'd hit the GoPros. So I mean, I gave it 100%. Like I told you earlier, I will always give it, but of course, that's not something I wanted. But
yeah. Now, do you have any regrets about the season and maybe how you played it, or are you fine with the way everything played out? Well, obviously, of
I,
course, you might have wanted to win, but like aside from that,
yeah, I do have a regret. I shouldn't have threw myself in because Melissa won and was in the tribunal. So I should have tried to see who wanted to go against her and did that because that next girl's Elam was a hall brawl.
yeah. um,
Ah, when I saw that, I was like, no, you couldn't wait. I had to be impatient. You waited all the time, and then you're like, you know what? I'll volunteer. But it just come time was running up. You didn't know when TJ would just pull the cord and say, all right, you have a red helmet, you're going to the final. And I just didn't want to be scared of it. And I was just ready to go too. I was also kind of ready to get out the bunker. So I'm like, I'll win if I go home. I'll win if I have to go to the final. I know that was my mentality. So
yeah, so are you open to coming back? And if so, would you prefer having, been on both ends of the spectrum, whether it be, you've obviously been on an individual season, then, you've been paired before. Are you open to coming back? And if so, which would you rather between the two, paired or individual?
hmm. I'm definitely gonna go back to the challenge. I mean, I would hope so. That's the goal. I mean, I want to go for the million. As far as the game, I like individual because if I lose, it's only on me. Let's say I mess up at something and you're with a partner, it's more difficult because they're with you. It falls on them as well. So it's just not having to worry about that other person. If they could have killed the challenge, but I messed up. You start having that guilt. But I do like the partners because you had somebody there with you. You didn't have to worry. It was two against everybody else. But I mean, I want to win the million myself. I don't want to split that shit. I want the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want half fees. I don't want a quarter. I want the million. And I'm going to win one. I promise you, mark this down. That is I will. I will win one of these.
Hey, I hope to see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So now I'm just gonna move into a few fan questions before we wrap it
Okay.
up. People want to know, do you have a closer relationship with Gus on Floribama Shore or Rogan on the challenge?
Ooh. I would say Gus. Rogan and I know each other, but not like Gus and I know each other. Gus and I have been more open about our life, and I've filmed more with Gus. I met Rogan on this last challenge, so I would
Mm.
definitely say Gus. But I love
Yeah,
Rogan. Like Rogan calls me more right now than Gus. Like he's always FaceTime. I mean, we jump on lives all the time. But as far as really knowing me and not just for fun and this, I would say Gus.
mhm. Yeah, I would. I think I could speak for a number of people would definitely like to see Gus get another shot on the challenge.
I would love for Gus to get another shot on the challenge. Oh
Mm.
yeah, he did really well. He stayed to himself. He kind of was like he was sneaky too though. I saw him, but I think he would do fairly well.
Yeah. So now, speaking of another one of your Floribama roommates, this was a question. So on prior seasons, they've done two of these when it's called Battle of the Exes, and you're paired with someone who you I guess had a thing with. People want to know how would you feel about potentially being on a Battle of the Exes team and being paired up with Jeremiah, and how do you think you guys would do?
Oh wow.
Just
Is he
inquiring my
really an ex though?
what?
Is he really an ex? I mean, is that what they consider exes, like ex flings?
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be like relationships. Like trust me, they've they've stretched like legit anything on these,
Oh my God, I don't
seasons.
know. I mean, I would do it, of course. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how we would be as partners. I think it would be hilarious because if you have two opposite people, number one, and then we didn't end on good terms. You know, I'm still nice, but I really don't talk to him. And I mean, he works out, he trains, but he's more of weight, like strength wise. So I don't know how he run? Does he swim? Can he do puzzles? Like, I don't know. I'd have to feel that out. But I mean, I would make anything work.
Mm.
It would be interesting. I feel like if you can deal with Kyle, you can probably deal with a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. I personally, I mean, I want to see Gus and Jeremiah paired up together as like a rivals team.
That
That'd
would
be
be good.
so many people you have no idea have like said that they want that, and oh my God, that'd just be if you're talking like TV like that. There's no better like pairing than them. You
It
know what I
is.
mean?
That's
Like
like putting me with
so
Ashley right now.
yeah, really.
That would
Honestly, I think we should just be the producers right now and just give them the format right here. Right now.
right, yeah. Because you got me and Ashley are both country girls, and we're both very vocal. So that would be intense because she's not going to shut up. I'm not going to shut up. Oh,
Mm,
that would be
yeah.
interesting. Let me tell you.
So now, what's one cast member, maybe either now or just in general, that you would like to go up against in maybe like a head-to-head elimination?
Who they would be? Like if I had to pick somebody.
Yeah, like someone you would like to maybe go up against, maybe for experience or just.
Hmm. I mean, I'm kind of up for going against anybody, but if I'm doing like hall brawl, you're not going to pick somebody that is. I guess it would be like me and Laurel, or like me and Anissa, or me and Cara Maria, or for strength wise, me and Jenny. Just
Hmm.
because, I mean, one of the tallest girls. So I feel like as soon as I say that, people think I'm going after someone because they're smaller.
Right.
But
Yeah, that's another one of the questions people wanted me to ask you. Are you actually 6 foot tall?
I am 6 foot tall. Yeah, I'm a tall one. In heels, I will be at least 6'4", depending on it. But I rock that shit anyway.
Yeah.
I can always find my friends at the party,
Right.
or I just
Well,
hang out with the tall guys in the corner.
yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I had a ton of fun, and I'll link you this when it's up. And thank you for joining me today.
Of course, no, I had a lot of fun. But be sure y'all can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. I have it all. It's just my full name, Mattie Lynn Breaux. And thank you for having me as well. And I'm not going anywhere for the challenge. Don't y'all worry.
Hey, watch out for next season, season 36. We got our
Oh
champ right here.
yeah.
All right.
Fingers crossed. You guys have a good one.
You too. Stay safe. Take care.
Okay. Bye bye.